We've come so far and got a long way to go. We've been dealing with these changes. Steady pace down this long and brittle road. We're looking for answers you already know. Let's quit busting in discussions over nothing. The huffing puffing till you blow each other down. You take it easy and remember to keep breathing. What we're needing is a bit of common ground. We've come so far and got a long way to go. We've been dealing with these changes. Steady pace down this long and brittle road. We're looking for answers you already know.
Ready?
Yeah.
And no more eating on the plate that we've been feeding from. And
Thanks, man.
no more beating while we're already held down. No more
Really?
teaching
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
You ready to roll? I think we're on. I think we're on, Anton. Boom.
Come so far and got a long way to go.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be the first person.
Mick Motherwell is here with another episode of Bagpipes to Banjos with the semi-famous, most terrific, marvelous, most gorgeous man that's ever been on this show, Mr. Anton Laplume.
Make me blush on Facebook Live, bro.
On YouTube Live, by the way. That's billions of people.
YouTube Live.
Facebook's just a couple hundred. You know?
How'd you get YouTube Live? Don't you need like 1,000 subscribers?
So, let me ask you this real quick before we go into anything else. How's it feel that I made you famous this week by promoting this podcast so much?
Feels pretty good.
It feels good that I
honored.
Made you talented.
I feel honored that you brought awareness to
look
me.
At me. I don't even know what we're seeing. We're not. No one's even seeing us right now. There we are. Unbelievable that I've made you famous. Before everyone gets annoyed with me, Anton, I need to ask you and let you just, where can I find you? Where can I hear you? Where are you playing? What's your website? All that bullshit. Hit everyone with that.
So sidehustletheband.com is going to be the main thing to find like where we're playing at and to find like links to the music and all that stuff. You can find us on YouTube. Make sure you're typing in Side Hustle the Band, and we should be like the first big logo that pops up. There's a couple other side hustles out there that we're trying to work out right now. Yeah, so that's where you can find us. Facebook, Side Hustle the Band, Instagram, Side Hustle the Band. Yeah, that works too. TikTok, Side Hustle the Band, all of it. We're on all the platforms.
TikTok.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys get into on TikTok? I don't know much about it. I just know it's crazy.
I really just post like behind the scenes stuff, maybe some like rehearsal stuff, or like some like Aaron and I, our drummer Aaron, like we did like a little jam session where he was playing vibraphone and I was playing like acoustic guitar, and so I posted that on TikTok, just shit like that, you know.
And so what happens on TikTok? How many fucking followers and likes and shit?
We don't have a whole lot.
I just know it's nuts.
Yeah, it's wild. It's a
like
wild.
A 14-year-old just farting makes like,
I mean, that
50,000 views. Like, and it like
that does happen.
I mean, like talent like yours goes unnoticed.
Well, yeah. I mean, like there is that, but I also like I'm pretty proactive on all my platforms about make sure it curates what I want to see.
Yeah.
So if you do that on TikTok, then you can get like most. I'm really just on there for entertainment's sake. Like it's really like, a lot of the shit's really funny. So
100%.
Like there's a lot of people that
cringier the funnier.
Yeah. So I like that kind of shit. You know, it's fun and it kills time for me. And then it's also just, you know, a lot of people aren't aware that TikTok did sign a big like $50 billion deal with Sony. for music rights because
Jesus.
and they're actually paying out artists a lot better than any streaming platform is.
So they're paying better like Spotify,
way
and
better,
things like that. Oh yeah, like they're
all social media platforms are paying bands
for now. The good guys, for now, let's just say that. But like they're paying the good guys, like they're giving artists a chance, paying them better. Like they're not taking away their rights and their lyrics.
Not in this, yeah. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, yeah. I don't think the streaming platforms are doing that either. I just think that social media is better at paying people out.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why we made the decision to start a TikTok page and also my own personal TikTok page, which is at Anton Laplume on everything, TikTok, Instagram, all that shit.
Anton Laplume is spelled out in all the fucking descriptions of the show and all the advertisements. It's ANTON LAPLUME.
That's it.
French as fuck.
It is French as fuck. Yeah.
French as fuck, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it originally like?
I can't answer that.
Something like that. Because you imagine. You imagine? Go ahead.
No, you might be right.
Well, could you imagine, like, ladies and gentlemen, live to the stage, Anton.
That sounds really suggestive.
I hadn't even thought about that. I had all week to think of that joke.
Yeah,
that's the first time I thought about it.
It's a good one.
Anton, I always ask people, especially on this show, what's the first thing that got you into it? Like, who inspired you? What inspired? Where were you? We're going to talk about how amazing and what your journey's been. But what started it? Do you know? Like, do you think you know?
Oh yeah.
Can
totally.
you? Okay, go for it, man. Go.
So when I was like, there was like these home videos when I was like 2 years old, and my parents had bought me this little like toy drum kit, and I was playing.
I have one behind you if you want to get it out, man. It's up to you.
That was probably nicer than the one that I actually had.
It's $10, man. It was $10. Yeah. Your poor parents.
Yeah. This had like duct tape on the snare. Like it was so beat up. But I remember just playing it, and I was playing along with like a Beatles song, and that was kind of like, I think that I've always had just like an inclination towards music as early as I can remember. My older sister took piano lessons when I was really young. And I was like, oh, I want to take piano lessons too.
Yeah. Did you?
I did. I took piano lessons when I was 5 years old. At the time I was 11. You would never guess now is I cannot play a lick on the piano.
So tough, isn't it? That's the toughest one.
That's a hard one, man. Yeah. But my dad's also a musician. He's a bass player. He plays in a band down south called the Levises. And
what kind of music does he play?
They're a really good like rock band. It's all original music for the most part. And when they do covers, it's a very much their own interpretation of cover tunes,
What would you compare their style to, just for like any,
like Springsteen, if you, like Bruce Springsteen, like Easter, but I'm like early Springsteen, like
right. Like almost like early Steve Miller a little bit, not so jammy.
Yeah, definitely not jammy.
Yeah. Just I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, or like Bryan Adams,
Okay, no, understood. Okay,
like very similar. Like,
and so he's just so. This is all started these drum kits were just around your house.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Right?
So we had like basses, we had guitars. It was just
and your
around.
sister's taking
my sister's taking piano lessons. It was just they always had music playing in the background. It was always just on like Beatles, Zeppelin, Stevie Ray, like all that shit. And and then I think that when I took piano lessons, I hated it. I didn't enjoy it.
It's not hard. It's not easy.
It wasn't easy.
Is that it? Is that why you hated it?
I wasn't doing music. I was playing classical music.
Sure.
Gotcha. And I love, like, now as I've gotten older, I really appreciate it. But at the time, it wasn't like what I was into. And I was also like forced, and it was like a lot of like Hal Leonard, like beginner books where it was just like very like, it was just exercises. It was boring.
Sure. I mean, so again, you said it, you appreciate it now, but I can 100% understand where you're at.
Yeah. So I didn't want to do it anymore. And so I quit, and I didn't pick up an instrument until I was about 14 again. I started playing guitar.
Just chill out. You Rory McIlroy wins the Masters, throws his sticks in the closet for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you doing? You like smoking cigarettes behind the church at that time, or were you just like doing like soccer or karate or
I was skateboarding a lot.
Skateboarding,
yeah, that was like my thing.
Then 3 years later, please go ahead.
Yeah. So my dad got me a guitar when I was 14, and I started playing. I was playing like I was learning like chords and shit, and he always wanted me to take lessons, but I had a really bad taste in my mouth about it because of the piano, you know. So I didn't take lessons. I just kind of was learning how to play chords and like, you know, writing like little instrumental songs. I couldn't sing a lick when I was just starting out. I didn't know anything about like writing lyrics. Like none of that came natural to me. It was just like playing like chords and stuff. And so then when I was like 15, I kind of got involved with, you know, like a weird crowd. I was doing like a lot of, you know, I got involved with like drugs and all that stuff. So I wasn't really practicing or really taking guitar seriously at all until I met some friends of mine when I was 17, senior year of high school. And they were like much more, I mean, still partying and stuff, but also we're like all going to go to college and making good grades and shit, you know? So
you can still play guitar and go to college.
Yeah.
You can still do drugs.
And go to
Just
college.
Don't be that fucking drug addict.
Exactly.
Sorry, drug addicts. Most of my listeners are.
Yeah. No, but and they were also musicians, you know, like they didn't make fun of me for playing music. It was, that's what they wanted to do too. So we jammed and stuff like that. And that's when I started writing music and started, you know, getting involved like my earliest bands and stuff.
So there's an insecurity there, right? I mean, I have questions written down and bullshit like that, but there's an insecurity that you've mentioned. Just people are making fun of me, like being a kid, right? Yeah. Being 11, and you look, I want my kid to learn piano. You know, that's my biggest regret. Like, if you learn piano, I think you can learn everything, right? Like,
yeah,
but
it makes it a lot easier.
There's definitely an insecurity in a part of your life, adolescence anyway, where you're like, I figured out people aren't making fun of me for being artistic or creative,
right?
And definitely playing music and actually giving it a college try,
right?
Maybe. And would you say that kind of I don't know what inspired it, but would you say that you kind of wish you were a fucking like fuck that I was doing it 11? Do you know what I mean? Or are you kind of almost glad for like getting in that, I don't want to say dark place, but getting like picked on for it?
No, I really wish that I would have committed earlier than when I did, because I think I would have progressed faster. And when I realized that I really wanted to, you know, even though I was like 17 when I first started playing like in like little bands that weren't really doing anything, but it wasn't even until later where I started actually like taking it seriously as a career. So I do wish that I would have
maybe kind of dreamt about it earlier or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Or just like not been in a place or hanging out with people that were so unproductive.
You started right, and that sucked. I mean, we're all products of our environments and things like that. And that does suck, especially when you're a moldable kid.
Yeah.
Which my kid has Play-Doh mold all over our fucking carpet right now. I'm very sorry to have you over here for that. But like, would you say you started writing at that point, or were you doing any kind of writing or journals or anything like that when you were, but like before you kind of found music again? Were you doing any kind of that?
Not really, man. Lyrics and that stuff didn't come naturally for me. That was
not at all.
Not at all. I mean, I think that writing, like, you know, maybe like essays and that kind of thing, that always came easy for me. Right. Because if I have time to think about
it, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. If I have time to think about what I'm going to say, I can really like write. I can paint a good picture for you. But when it came to writing lyrics and fitting like small these big ideas into condensed small words, that was very difficult for me.
Would you say that like the writing the essays and stuff? Would you say that's kind of your approach to writing like your lyrics or your songs?
Not so much no
anymore. Did it start that way, or
probably started that way because I would take these ideas from those essays.
Say that sucks compared to now? Like not
no
sucks,
no
but, you know,
I've really thought about going back to that approach.
Really?
Honestly. Yeah, just because I know the comedians use that approach a lot too.
Yeah,
you know,
it's short.
Like, you write it like your essay,
just write a big story and then try to figure it out.
Condense it, yeah.
I do a podcast every Tuesday that some of these people just think is insane, but they keep listening.
Yes, there you go.
I just offend everybody. I get in fights all the time, but no. So there's a lyric that stood out to me, and I just want to keep asking about your creative process.
Sure.
But the lyric stood out to me, and I'm gonna make an ass out of it. But it's something like, "You got the peanut butter, but you ain't got no jelly."
Yeah, I didn't write that.
You better put that grape to work.
No, that's not what it is.
That's what's that. What is it? What is it?
You got peanut butter, but no jelly. You got to put that bread to use.
Put that bread to use.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I was the same message. I think.
I didn't write that. That's a Sean Thomas original.
Our
bass player.
Okay. Oh, well, I was thinking I don't know who Sean Thomas is. I need to look him up. But it's your bass player.
Yeah.
What a line.
Yeah.
And just, I mean,
that whole song is actually pretty
fantastic and funny. And then without you not writing that line, you play in a band like that and you write music like that. Do you find it hard? Obviously, music's music and demographics are demographics, but you find it hard to, like, in this day and age, to, like, bring that jammy, fucking funky, like, good shit that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that there's still very much a culture that wants that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to bring that vibe so much anymore. You know, I think that
I've heard some of your new stuff, and it's not like that.
It's definitely not as jammy. It's much more compositional, you know, and
yes, I'll give you that word. Yeah.
And that's just, I think that's just
good.
More of where my head's at now versus maybe 5 years ago. I was very much like, let's improvise and jam and kind of see what happens. And now I think that I really respect compositions. You know, I love Humphreys McGee and like,
yeah,
and I love those big grand arrangements with improv aspects, you know. But I really like the big arrangements and just like going for it.
Maybe that was my question, I guess, because I'm a big Humphreys guy. I'm a big Fish guy, and whether you like him or not, like, I try to tell people, like, some of that's composition.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Some of that is just seriously like Beethoven-esque,
yeah.
And they don't get it. And I'm not hating. So I guess that was maybe I was asking, like, do you find a hard time like booking gigs or things like that because you guys are a little more outside of the box, like not hitting covers all the time, like you're not fucking doing Freebird and Turn the Page?
Well, no, because Side Hustle is a very different endeavor than what you would do with a bar band, you know?
Right.
So a Side Hustle really is only doing festivals and ticketed shows.
Sweet. That's what we're going to get into next.
Yeah. So, and if you've watched the podcast, Bottom of the Bill, I'm very adamant about that distinction.
Yeah.
Whereas at a bar, we don't play original music at a bar.
Right.
We did for a long time because it wasn't until later that I learned.
You're getting booed off the stage.
Yeah, and also
because you're not playing Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and also it doesn't really that's really, if you're trying to do original music, that's really not the path to do it. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to make money, but it's not a great way to get yourself out there as an original artist.
This is the most pro motherfucker I've ever had on here, and I've had Vaylor trucks on here, by the way. I love you, Vaylor. But so okay, back to it, man. So you started Side Hustle a few years ago, but the pre-story is man's here from South Florida.
Yeah,
and was so fucking talented and so good. We're going to skip the 13 to 18-year-old shit. That's just boring, right?
Yeah.
Because at 18 or so, you fucking took your ass up and went all over the country, all over North America.
Not at 18, no.
Oh, or whatever age it was.
Later, yeah.
Go ahead. Tell me that, and then I'm going to ask for a couple stories, but
sure.
Tell me the gist.
So when I was 20, I really should go back a little bit further. Tell
the whole thing.
When I was 21, I got hired at Sam Ash, which is a music store. That they actually just got one in Jacksonville recently, but it was down in Miami. So I was working there, and it was there when I discovered that I wanted to actually play music for real. I had been, again, goofing off my friends, doing like these, open mic nights and stuff like that for years, but never really took it seriously. I started working at Sam Ash, and I met some guys who were they were going to jam nights, and they were really, they had bands, and they were like doing cool stuff. And I was like, well, I want to do that. Like, that's, this guy's got like they're putting out a music video, and like, these guys doing, like, I want to be involved in the scene, So I started going to jam nights, and I started like, meeting people.
Fuck skateboard.
Yeah. Especially by that point. Yeah. So I started going to jam nights, and I started meeting people and putting together like my first incarnations of bands,
Right.
And started like, doing a couple gigs here and there with all original music. And then when I was 23, one of my dad's friends came into work Sam Ash where I was working, and he was like, "Hey man, so there's these two girls. They have a band. They just got signed. They just got signed with this label. I can't remember what the label was, but it was Johnny Depp's record label out in LA. So he was like, they need to put a band together, and they need to go on the road. And I was like, okay, well that sounds great. I'd love to do that. So I went up and I went up and I auditioned for the band, and I got the gig. There you go.
Whatever.
And
Jesus Christ!
This was my first
musicians.
Yeah, this is like my first real like
real gig.
Yeah, real gig.
Full time, yeah.
Yeah, I was gigging like every weekend. We were doing the thing, and then that lasted for about a year, and then they got picked. The two girls got picked up by I can't remember his name, the singer from Dashboard Confessional, to be his backup singer.
I just thought his name was Dashboard.
Yeah.
I just know that he hates my dad as much as I do.
Yeah.
That's
well,
whatever, they got picked up by that guy.
Yeah. They got
all right,
Chris Carrabba.
Thank God you didn't.
He was.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I met him a couple times.
I'm sure he hates his dad.
Yeah, he hates it for sure. But he had a band called Twin Forks that he picked them up for, the two girls.
Right.
And they were really good. But anyways, it was right at that time where Rockin' Jake, he was a harmonica player in the blues scene, which I was very plugged in the blues scene in South Florida at that point.
Yeah, that's what I read on sidehustletheband.com.
There you go.
You can also listen to a lot of good shit too.
So yeah, I was playing at a bar one night. I didn't know where I was going to end up. This band was just breaking up. And I was sitting in with some friends of mine, and Rockin' Jake walks in. He sees me playing. He's like, "Hey man, I'm going on the road this summer. I need a guitar player."
So he knew who you were from?
No, he had no idea who I was.
Oh, no way.
He just walked in and saw me playing, and was like, "Here's a young moldable mind. Let me take this fucking kid."
That's crazy. I didn't even think in that way. But yeah, of course, because
he was older. You know,
way to go.
He was older, and so was the rest of the guys in this band. So he heard me playing. He was like, "Well, this is the way that he kind of approached me. So listen, man. So you can't really play the blues that well, but but I think that if you practice, you could get there. And I need a guitar player this summer to go on the road with me. So and my guitar player quit. So are you available?" And I was like, "To go on the road? Fuck yeah!"
So would you say he was desperate, or did you say he actually saw something?
No, he was desperate. He was desperate. That's what it was.
He couldn't have went any other bar in Miami and found someone better. Or maybe more groomed, I guess.
Yeah, the thing is, in the blues scene,
less expensive.
I was definitely cheap. I was 24 years old, just eager to go. I was like, "You pay me whatever."
And so you guys go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, that's cool. It's cool. So the blues scene is an interesting scene because it's all very much like older people that don't want to go on the road. So there's
they have to work at Lowe's for fucking 12 hours a day, and they don't make practice, but they'll make one gig a month.
Yeah,
I get it.
There's a lot of that. There's also guys that have also just been doing it a long time. That don't want to do the bullshit anymore, especially for
a lot of Winstons, man.
For sure. So anyways, he hired me, and that was pretty much like the next year of my life was basically just going on the road with them. And that was a pretty wild ride.
Give me do you have one fun fucking story on top of your head?
A lot of fun stories.
I'm sure you've got 40, but if you got one that you could just throw at me for 4 minutes. I don't care how long it lasts, but throw me a good one.
There was one we were playing. It was a local gig. We were playing this outdoor festival.
A local gig is meaning down South Florida.
Hollywood Beach. We were playing at this the band shell down there, and we were backstage, and we were having a couple shots to kind of warm up, whatever. He just kind of sits down.
I never do anything like that.
Yeah. He just kind of puts his head down. He's like, "Anton, man." He's like, you suck. I
don't you have to go any further. That's the best story ever.
I'm just like, I was okay. Well, we're about to go out on a.
That's my question. Stage. Who's in front? How many people are in front of that
there's
stage?
hundreds of people out there. And I'm just gonna.
And he throws that at a 23-year-old.
Yeah, he just throws that right at me.
Did you have long hair then?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So when did you decide that? Did you decide that when you wouldn't be a skateboarder or a musician?
I've had long hair since I was
skateboarder.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah, I'd say 13. Yeah.
So I did promote this show by saying that you're the most gorgeous, tremendous looking guy that I've ever had on the show, but you're only compared to McGowan and Aaron Lane and shit.
That's
not on a competition, but his hair is glorious. Anton, so that's it. I mean, you did suck, right? And
yeah, I did.
I'm not saying that because I don't think you ever sucked, but
no, I did.
How much pressure? I mean, you're going to places correct me if I'm wrong. You're in Canada and shit like that, trying to play, making decent money for a 23-year-old musician.
Yeah. Who was living at home?
Right.
No bills.
Do you know what I mean? How much pressure? How much better did you get from day 1 to day 365?
I got considerably. I got considerably better. as far as
this is crazy.
Just like my chops were getting better. I don't think that I ever really fully grasped the concept of playing the blues the way that a blues musician would. Because I also although I loved it growing up, I also loved a lot of other genres. So it was never like my main focus as far as being a guitar player.
Back then, that was their only genre, right?
Yeah.
Weird way.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I just, I think I definitely got better, but it's really been my experience. I think I don't know, it's hard to measure, it's hard to say because every year I notice that I get better, So
obviously a student of the fucking game, and all that.
I'm always trying to be better. Yeah. I'm always trying to practice and work out the kinks and stuff, which I still make constant mistakes, but it's all part of it,
So, talking about your gorgeous hair and all that, you're the front man of a fucking band, and you're without a doubt, we're talking about flaws and things like that. You're amazingly talented. I think every member of your band's amazingly talented. I've mentioned a couple of lyrics that he didn't write, but what an insane thing. What a great band. And look, it just takes one person to hear you, and it takes being famous to get famous and all that bullshit. But you decide to create this fucking band. You've obviously done some solo stuff, some blah, blah, blah. You're the front man of this band. You've created it. How did that come about? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. That's crazy to think about.
So it became very clear to me that I was going to need to start my own band if I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
Which is why I started singing in the first place. I started singing when I was 17 years old. I was taking YouTube lessons and really trying to figure it out because I could not hold a note. So
it would have been a good question of mine, but
yeah,
go ahead. You're on YouTube just trying to emulate what they're. People, you can do this.
Yeah,
you can do this.
Yeah, totally. I taught myself music theory the same way, where I just bought books and stuff like that. I didn't take lessons or anything.
It's not easy.
No, it's a lot of shit to learn, man. But I just want to be better, though. I want to be self-reliant to a certain point. So after I told Rock and Jake that I wasn't going to go on the road for another year with him, I knew that I had to leave South Florida so I could break out of the blues scene. It was too easy just to get hired by another band and do the same shit.
And cover Bob Seger, Turn the Page.
Yeah. So I needed to get out of that situation. So Chelsea and I looked at Jacksonville, and we decided to just go to Jacksonville and say, fuck it. We saw some cool stuff going on in the scene. There's a really good connection with the Swanee festivals, which is what we want to break into. So we came here, and I started putting together a band. That's when I found Aaron, our drummer, and a few months after I moved here, I found, Aaron joined the band, and then he's been with me ever since.
So, but you're the general, right? So, how did you find Aaron? You take 2 hours or take 2 minutes, but how did you really just I've moved to fucking Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I'm a musician. This is what I want to do with my life. So it's important to me. How do I fucking really recruit and shit like that? What's that process like?
So day one, man. We moved up here.
Day one.
We moved up here.
It starts day one.
Oh yeah. There was no time wasted. We moved up here, moved all of our shit in, and then drove back to South Florida just to tie up some loose ends. But before we went back to South Florida for that last time, we went to the Jacksonville Jazz Fest, and I met Ben Strock from Herta Watts when they were playing there, and they blew me away.
Hyatt Park or something like that?
Yeah, what's it fucking called?
Park.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, Hemming Plaza.
Hemming Park.
Jesus Christ.
Plaza, same thing. God damn it.
So I met Ben Strock there, and then Ben was instantly. I told him, I said, "Hey man, I'm trying to come to Jackson. I'm trying to get a band going. Where do I go?" So he told me about all the jams right away. Perfect Rack Jam with Jeremy King, and Shores with Louis Leclerc, and all these cool jams. So literally, when we came back, we went down south, came back up a week later. We were hanging up shelves all day and doing shit all day around the apartment. And then that night, I was like, "Okay, we're going to a jam."
Absolutely.
And we went to Jeremy King's jam.
Oh,
when he was doing that Perfect Rack.
What band's he in?
Fat Cactus.
Fat Cactus. Mate, yeah. Jeremy King's dope as shit.
He's amazing.
Dude.
One of my favorite sax players of all time, man.
So good. Do we want to talk about Jazz Fest? Yeah, Jeremy King's great.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He hasn't been on the show, but I'll get him.
Oh, yeah, he'd love to come on.
Sure. He's good, man. He's real fun. Real fun. Sorry.
No,
Tom Bennett's up there with
I love Tom, man. Tom's a good friend. He was on the podcast recently. So yeah, man. I met
bottom of the bill.
Yeah. So I met Jeremy, and he started telling me about some more jams and whatever. So
his network.
Yeah, his network. Just really like put my nose to the grindstone. Started doing
had
it.
To. Had to.
Yeah.
So go ahead. No, please finish up. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But I started putting out Craigslist ads and getting numbers from different people for drummers and bass players, and then one number led me to another.
Auditioning motherfuckers?
No, I was just hitting people up, and most people weren't interested because they didn't know who I was. Until somebody was like, "Hey, man, I'm not."
How big did they think they were?
Well, a lot of them were just busy. You know, like you have to understand, like people. Like I was talking to Jeremy King and some of the top guys in town. So they were only giving me the top guys' numbers in town, you know.
Gotcha.
So eventually it would get.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So eventually it was like, well, I'm busy, I can't do it. But here's this person, whatever. So eventually I got Aaron's phone number. Aaron was playing with people around town too, but he was also kind of doing other things. So but he was like, hey man, well if you have work, like I'm down, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron joined the band, and we were able to I found a bass player through Craigslist, and then that didn't work out, and then I cycled through some more people and just hiring people as we went, and until my bass player from South Florida came up, and that ended up not working out. So
Jesus.
Yeah. So and then Sean Thomas came in the picture. Herta Watts was breaking up, or they were going on a hiatus, and he became available.
How important is it? Just to your message that you just mentioned, is you just kind of randomly fell in love with these guys. Finally, as gay as you aren't. You've clicked. You're doing well. I look sidehustletheband.com. Like it's great stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
But how important is it to have that? Like, I know it's random, but you even like I'm gonna say fucked off a roommate, but that didn't work. Like that's someone you liked, trusted, split bills with, and was like, that's still not working out.
Yeah.
So how important is it to, like, again, be the general? I don't want to say like they're hailing down the. I know that it's equal parts and all that bullshit, but to just have that energy and that click, like how, like,
yeah,
it's that back to it. How long did that take?
It took a long time, man. I was up here. I think I met Sean in 2017.
I think I got it, man.
Nice. That was a good catch.
I think I might have got it. I didn't.
That's pretty
fuck me, dude.
That's pretty good though.
Tried.
Good effort. Get an A for effort. I think I met Sean in 2017. So that was 2 years after we got into Jacksonville. And then Sean even told me that he didn't want to commit to like a real original band.
Right,
he just wanted to play, make some money and doing gigs and stuff. And then as we started kind of putting stuff together, he was like, hey man, the original tunes are kind of cool. If you guys need a gig or whatever, if you guys need a bass player for one of those gigs, let me know. And so he kind of started coming on board like that. And then we had a keyboard player that was coming on that Sean was very good friends with. So I think that kind of
just
sweetened
starts
the pot
coming together. Yeah.
And then right when we started getting to it, we were doing some road dates and stuff. And then the keyboard player's like, hey man, I got to leave town for 6 months. I'm out.
Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was frustrating, man.
Easy, dude.
It was frustrating. So he was like,
years.
but I have
5 years ago.
Yeah. He was like, but I have this keyboard player, their band's kind of breaking up, and that he needs some work, so he can fill in for me while I'm gone. So the keyboard player was Billy Begley from Lucky Costello, who is now our keyboard player. But Billy came in with the same mentality. Billy was just like, hey man, I'm only gonna be around until Max is back, and then I got to go because I'm doing, like, I'm going around the country. I'm gonna do my own thing, whatever. So I think maybe 3 or 4 months in, I think he started seeing, we were doing some road dates and stuff. He kind of started seeing the potential
there. Yeah.
And he was like, well, maybe I'm gonna stick around and see what happens. So he hit me up one day and said, hey man, just so you know, I'm in. I'm good. Like,
I'm quitting my fucking job if you need me to.
Yeah, he hasn't gone that far yet.
Oh, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he jumped on board, and so ever since that was also 2017. So
right.
yeah, so since then we've been this unit and just kind of working towards this thing.
You guys are doing well as far as I think the journey goes. Like I think what did they say? It's like 700 hours to perfection or something.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours, 7,000. I don't know if 700. It's definitely not 700.
Yeah, I wish it was 700.
I'm perfect at my job, man. But yeah, like so you're on your way. But I think what I'm saying, it kind of restarts when you get all four together, so it starts over. You guys are doing great things. I think you sound great. People need to hear it. And back to the lyric, I was saying, like, all it takes is one person. Like, I think of just more people appreciated that instead of dollar, billion dollar bullshit. And I'm not hating on genres. I'm just hating on genres. You know what I mean? It's just fucking annoying to hear things like that you guys are putting out that's available on Spotify and YouTube and things like that, that it's not fair in a weird way because you guys are close to fucking great. Couple of things, and then we'll get into podcasts, and then we'll get you the fuck out of here. But a couple of things. You mentioned Chelsea, and Chelsea is your longtime partner.
Yeah.
And what an awesome, beautiful, great chick. She's also a semi-successful fucking musician and artist as well.
Yeah, totally.
Or maybe more so, not semi, but what an awesome thing. How is that? I mean, you guys you don't really collab too much.
No, we do from time to time, but yeah, I mean, it's she does what she does, and I do what I do.
Right,
I think we have like different.
Does any of that get in the way? Like, I don't know. We can talk about relationship. Like, oh, there's obviously no jealousy. Like, oh, you're playing where on a Saturday? Like, I'm not worried about that. But like, she's out there. You're out there. Like, you can't spend time. I mean, you guys are full time, man. Right? Like,
yeah.
How hard is that? I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's easier than you think because our schedules are pretty much the same. So like, we're home at the same time, we're away at the same time, and sometimes they don't line up. Like I go on the pre-COVID, the band was on the road quite a bit, but you just figure out ways to make time. Usually, like early in the week, we'll be able to like go out and do something or whatever. It's just we just try we just make time.
11 a.m. zoo or no one else is there.
Breakfast or whatever, just even eating a meal together, watching a show together, just doing something.
Have you ever ran into any kind of problems as far as, and I don't want to get into any of that bullshit, but I'm just like, I don't want you to play here, or I don't want you to play there, or wait, man, I've got to go to my cousin's wedding on a Saturday and you're gonna play here. Like, has any of that ever come up?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, that happens.
Kind of all the time.
Well, it's just scheduling shit where it's like, hey, we have my cousin's getting married, or like this is happening. That is what I'm saying, that kind of shit comes up, and that's that's stuff that as I've gotten older and more mature, I've been able to and realizing how. Oh wow, shocking! You get older and more mature, and understanding and compromises. Compromising is what it's all about, man. As I've gotten older and really understand, when I was a few years ago, when it was like, well, I've got gigs, all about the gigs. As I've gotten older, I'm like, well, especially when it comes to like bar dates and shit like that, it's like those aren't things you can be sacrificing anything for. That's just like a paycheck. Right. Which life is fucking precious, man. It's running out of time no matter what. Yeah. So I had it on me, man. Like just between you and her, like, does that ever happen? Like, as far as, is she ever like got our foot in somewhere, or have you ever got your foot in somewhere? And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We're just like, oh shit, I think I can help you out. Yeah. And same things happen. Totally. So you guys both kind of scratch each other's back. Yeah. And it's awesome, man. That's great. That's really, I think that's really like an important thing to do also, because it's like, no matter who it is. Yeah. So you especially having, when you're the first guy that hears about it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's good to be helping each other out in that way. I think it's just like, it's important, And she's great, and it's chelseamichelle.com or so Alchematic Band is the name of the .com. Chris Underdahl. Yeah, that guy, he's so funny. Yeah, he's so good. He's great, man. He's always a talented fucking singer and song player. I don't know the songwriter, but he's really got great voice, and he does the Willie, not the Willie Nelson, the goddamn Louis Armstrong thing. And it's funny and it's great. I mean, he's talented, but he also is got a
everything else he does is fantastic.
Yeah, he's a great player too.
And Chelsea's fantastic.
Him and Chelsea have a great partnership, and they do like a good writing thing together. And so their band is Alchematic, the band or Alchematic band.
Alchematic.
Yeah, Alchematic.
Do you spell it out loud?
Yeah. So ALCHEMATIC.
Ding.
So like alchemy, like alchemy,
yeah,
but
gotcha.
Alchematic. Yeah.
I'm gonna share that later. So just to kind of wrap up the girlfriend that's a musician thing. How much? How much do you guys like sit at home and just jam? Like I imagine that if I was not ever, hardly ever. Because I imagine like that would be just like I'm sitting on my fucking watching 90 Day Fiance with my wife, and I'm just on my phone, and she's on her phone, and my kid's just fucking around.
It's basically the same thing without the kid. Yeah,
but you're not on the fucking guitar. Like I fucking would just. Oh, I was imagining you guys would be using that and be like, "Oh shit!" Oh man, no way.
No, I was just because like we're both working so much. Yeah, so when like at least like when we're together, it's at least for me it's just easier to like just not to worry about work shit, you know. But not to say that we don't jam. Like we do. Like they did a live stream for her birthday, and I did a couple tunes with them and.
Special occasion. Though.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You guys don't sit around and try to like.
No, if
you don't walk into the room when you've got a thought and go, "Hey, Chelsea, while you're bullshitting on your iPad, I've got a lick. Can you come play with me?" That never happened.
Not really, just because mostly
do you not think that would be cool?
No, yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. It's just one of those things where it's like if when I write something, it's got to be for the band because I also don't like I'm not constantly writing. You know, I like writing for music. I have to sit down and do it most of the time. So when I'm working it out, it's like, okay, well, this has to go to the band. Otherwise, you know, it's like, you know, that's the main thing. And she's the same way with her stuff. Like if she has an idea, it's got to be usually with her band, you know.
So it's a project, man. And you're obviously a talent. You understood that you toured the country, you toured Canada. You're talented as you. You know, Jimmy Page was a session musician for a long time too.
Yeah.
Look at
All
right, dude. I was trying to stroke your ego a little bit, but
yeah.
I just compared you to Jimmy Page. Chill out.
Yeah.
But no, like so then you're in the band again. I'm saying you're the general. I'm not taking anything away from anyone else that listens or the band. I'm just saying you're putting together this band. It's great. You guys are connecting. There's a bond. You guys are doing great. It's like how important that was. But like you just said, everything's about the band. Everything's about the band. Like, what do you guys do now? You've connected. Like you've done it. Like, what's the next step? What's the dream, and how are you getting there?
So the next step for us at the moment is we're gonna be releasing a record this summer. I can't say any dates just yet.
That's fine. You keep nothing. But I have 1,000 listeners from they don't care.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You've got a record coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm shutting my mouth.
So so we've been working on that for the last year. We're gonna be putting like some tour dates around that as well. And I think that the ultimate goal, man, is just to grow it to the point where we can be like this can be like everybody's full-time thing, you know,
and that's my goal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, doing this. So just make it give me 50 grand to start out. We'll figure it out from there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, we want to be, we want to create like a culture within the music, you know, it's
full time.
And
I know it's not about money. I'm just comparing full time to
but full time, but full time also like in a way where it's like I play music full time now, but I don't like doing bar dates. You know what I mean? But like what ultimately what we want to do is like create a culture within the music. So it's like you see bands like Umphreys or Fish or the Grateful Dead, and it's like
that's that's the dream, man.
Yeah, that's the dream. Yeah, you want to create that culture. You want your music to have that kind of impact on people. You know,
Anton, I actually am gonna shut my mouth. It's very hard for me to do that sometimes, but I'm gonna let you. I really need to know. That is the best fucking answer I've ever had on this show. It's the best answer I've ever had and anywhere ever when I've asked even a fellow comedian, or definitely a musician or an artist, what's the dream? And you just said it, and I want you to elaborate on that for any ignorant person that's listening. That was the best fucking answer I've ever. No, seriously, that was fucking beautiful. And that's exactly what the fucking dream needs to be.
Yeah.
And I want you to say that again and elaborate on it. And I'm going to fucking turn that.
I appreciate that. No, so just basically like the dream is to create a culture within the music, so you have like you have bands, you have like the Beatles, and you have, the Grateful Dead, Fish, and bands like that, where there's an entire world that exists within this thing that all surrounds the music. I would love our music to have that kind of an impact on the world, and to be able to create that kind of following around that impact.
All right, so I'm coming back in. I don't think it's wrong one bit. Do you not think that you're putting immense pressure on yourself with that kind of?
I mean, you got
that kind of answer.
I mean, you got to dream, man. You got to dream.
Yeah, you're not going to win the fucking belt if you're not in the ring with the champ.
Exactly.
I just think I mean that, man. I try to be comical, and that's what people like about it. They hate you.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
I'm not the most likable person.
That is the most. Bagpipes and Banjos definitely does have a different. They know the difference, and thank you guys for listening later, because I think we've had like 3 people live tops. But
yeah,
I'll check Cyber later. But no, what an answer! And I can't believe that's an artist, right? Is that what an artist this man is? Like, no, but seriously, that's what you gotta. That is the highest I've ever heard anyone aim. I really mean that, man. Like, it's blown my. Like, I have a couple more questions about what's the dream and what would you buy and things like that. This motherfucker buy a fucking tent and go to Himalayas.
Yeah,
what it sounds like to me.
I would totally do that.
He doesn't give a shit. He's gone.
Yeah, I mean, like ultimately, man, like that also gives you like a certain freedom once you're to that point where you can kind of just do whatever you want. Right. Like the traveling, and the exposure to different worlds, and that ultimately helps you be a better artist in the long run. I think that's really important. You're right,
Anton. You're right. It's what I think about is you hear about these stories, and some of these, every single one except for maybe Baylor Trucks, was an interview with these guys that are trying to make it and getting there, and blah blah blah. And look, I know money's in pockets and blah blah blah, but holy shit, like this was about this and this and this. You just answered every question just so perfectly. Like, I've got no ammo left. Yeah. You're just so fucking modest, and you're the most talented. I'm not hating on it. You're just super talented.
Thank you.
And it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to watch. And I'm just so thankful to have you here. But at the same time, like, wow, like, I think that's the advice that everyone gave you. I think so. I was going this. You see these stand-up comics, you see these musicians, and they talk about their 10 years of shit. Maybe we'll have 10 years of shit, buddy. But guess what? If you don't think about it, you're not going to have any shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's kind of what you're trying to say. What you're saying in the nicest way. I'm trying to elaborate it that way. Man, what an awesome fucking thing. You have a podcast.
Yeah.
Called Bottom of the Bill.
Bottom of the Bill, yep.
Explain that to the layman's.
Okay, so whenever you see a band playing or a festival lineup of in anything,
or me at any stand-up comic,
right? Whether it's music or comedy, doesn't matter. You get these lineups that are announced, and they're called bills, and you have like your headliners at the top, and you have all the auxiliary people at the bottom, basically just to help kind of sweeten the pot a little bit.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about my comedy.
So because Side Hustle and a lot of the people that we feature on the show are at the bottom trying to get to the top, but still at the bottom of the bill.
What a cool name.
That is what the podcast is kind of about. It's just that grind. And we've had people on the show that are definitely above the bottom of the bill. But
absolutely. It just you guys have had a lot of people on there that are, owners of establishments,
venues, and
just amazing
management.
Check out Bottom of the Bill podcast. Seriously, swear to God, please check that out. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook.
Apple.
Check out Apple, Google. Check out Bottom of the Bill podcast. It's fantastic. It really, really is. I like listening to it.
Thanks, man.
No, seriously. I got into podcasts about 2 years ago when I was 3 years ago. I started commuting, and it's nice to hear local ones, good ones. Bottom of the Bill is fantastic. Anton showed up here thinking I might have been as professional as he was, and he's in for it. And
I love it, man.
He's shitting himself in my studio. But no, seriously, it's great stuff. So you have a podcast. What inspired you to do that? Just
So Billy and I we talked about it for a while before, we'd be on the road and stuff, just killing time and just talking about starting a podcast. Him and I have a very
you'd had a natural podcast right there if you just let everything record in the van.
Doesn't that
suck?
People don't need to hear that shit.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Yeah.
Well, Billy and I have a very interesting back and forth. If on the surface we seem like we don't like each other, and we seem like we're like a married couple that's been together for like 50 years.
Well, they don't like each other.
They don't like each other anymore.
Putting up with each other.
Yeah, that's basic. Billy and I kind of came out the gate with that relationship. I don't know what it was. It's just we just opted. Well,
what a connection. Though.
Yeah,
they don't say opposites attract, but they do.
Yeah, totally.
It does work.
Totally. And I was like, man, I think that our dynamic would work well in a podcast format, but just it's kind of funny, but it's also like we can talk about the industry from a very real perspective, and help musicians, but also make it entertaining,
Right.
So we were talking about it for a while, and COVID hit, and then it was like, well, no better time. We're not gigging, we're not doing anything, so let's just make some use of this time, man. And we put it together. We've acquired a few sponsors, but I did want to talk to you about that maybe after.
That's okay. We'll talk about it off air. That's fine. I got a couple too. And I literally mine didn't. I was fucking around. Stand-up comedy. Everyone's been a podcast for that. But I hit the Ahmaud Arbery and the George Floyd thing about a year ago with my opinion.
Yeah.
And sitting on the fence and trying to agree and disagree with everyone. And sure enough, man, just went
skyrocketed.
Crazy. It went crazy.
Yeah.
Went crazy.
Yeah.
And which helps the fucking musicians. I hopefully helps the musicians I interview. But
totally.
That being said, man, you're right. COVID, I was out of ideas because I was doing this.
Right.
And I had you listen to the West one. I didn't have any video. I had 2 mics, and we're like, let's try this out. I mean, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
And sure enough, a couple of weeks later, a month later, we were locked down. I figured it out. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go live on Facebook at 5 p.m. Sure enough, I had 100 people that wanted to be out in the bar at 5 p.m. but had to hang out with me.
Right.
It was amazing, dude. It worked out, and that's it, man. It's just about connection and networking and putting your fucking self out there.
Totally.
Again, I made you famous this week.
You did.
I'm a super sharer.
Nobody knew who I was.
Billions of people
all around the world.
Billions of people are now they might not follow you or like you. That's up to them.
Yeah.
We can't judge them.
Yeah.
Back to it. So you started a podcast. You did all this shit. You were saying earlier, just in general, where I asked people about the goals and the dreams. What are you doing? What are you doing next? What's in the works if you want to share it, if you don't want to share it. But if you get there, excluding a house and your mom's house and all that shit in a car, or maybe a car's fine. What are you getting? What are you getting with the money? I'm
gonna get as many plane tickets as I can, travel as much
as
I possibly can.
Okay, you're touring the fucking nation, right?
Yeah, but it's different.
You got a $5 million contract.
It's different though, touring, because touring is you're in one city for a day, and then a lot of the times when I was on the road, especially with Rock and Jake, it'd be we'd pull up to the city, hit the venue, load in, load out, and then we're driving overnight to the next place.
Doing nothing.
So it's just
work.
Yeah, it's all work, and it's cool. We had a couple of days off.
Take a selfie and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, there's we went to Quebec, which was really cool, an amazing city. But we
did
rolled.
They
in.
Say your name correctly?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I
made myself laugh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It wasn't. It was really racist.
Yeah.
It's not funny. Don't look. You can hit me. It's fine.
No, when I'm Cuban, so when I was younger, my friends.
Oh shit! You didn't tell me that when this fucking podcast started.
My friends.
That's why they didn't listen. They knew you were fucking Cuban by looking at
it. Yeah, my friends.
My grandfather was a part of the Bay of Pigs.
Oh, he was.
Which, by the way, failed. So
yeah,
you can't be offended.
No, that was good.
Because he didn't actually kill any Cubans. They failed.
They did. They failed miserably. Yeah.
Fuck yes, my grandpa, Air Force. I didn't know he was Cuban, guys. I wouldn't have had him on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
He's French too.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
You like them fries? You like them fucking fries? Shut the fuck up. God, where the fuck were you? You were telling a cool story.
I was in Quebec.
Quebec, right.
And
thank God. Thank God he doesn't smoke. His short-term memory is way better than yours.
So
you're in Quebec.
Yeah, Quebec. Yeah. So we rolled
playing music in Quebec, Canada.
Yeah, Quebec.
Listen,
City,
people, this motherfucker's from goddamn Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah. So we rolled in there like around 6 o'clock in the morning, and then the bass player and I were just like, okay, well, we got one day here, so we're gonna spend the entire day. We're just gonna go all around the city, which was an amazing time. And we played that night, and the next morning we were gone. So it's a lot of stuff like that. I want to go and like travel and like really hang out somewhere.
Sure.
That's
what you're doing with your money.
So
you're going to tour for that year where we give you the contract, and you're going to take a year off and just fucking go.
I'll take a couple months off. I don't want to take a year off. I can't do a year off. I'd go fucking crazy.
Understood.
I'd go absolutely. I took the last 2 days off just because I've been like overworked like crazy.
And that happens, man.
And I feel like the most unproductive piece of shit in the world.
For 2 days.
For 2 days.
I'll tell you, I do it one day at work. Like even like some of this shit. One day off, you just feel, even if it's your deserved day off. Yeah,
you just feel bad.
You deserve it. It's a day. 3 o'clock hits, and you're like, you almost feel hungover.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, what did I do all day?
Yeah,
I just took my day to myself. It sucks, man. Yeah. So that's how hard you work. That's how hard you've been working for so long. Again, man, you told me the dream is to obviously that's the total dream. You told me what's next is just to have someone hear you. What could you tell somebody that? So the two things I always end on, and then we're gonna wrap this up because I'm just stupid. No, Anton's just not that fucking entertaining. But seriously, the two things I always end on is I give you two questions, and then we wrap it up in another question. But you told me the money would be traveling. Let me ask you this first. Where's the first place you go there? So before I ask the two questions, this isn't one of them.
Okay.
Where would you go first?
Man, I really want to go
first. Like you, Chelsea, money, don't worry about shit. That's where we're going on Monday.
I mean, I think the answer, like,
there's a gun to your head. Where are you going first?
We're probably going to Cuba, honestly.
Cuba. Perfect. By the way, I was sorry about making fun of that.
No, not at all.
Fuck yeah, that's beautiful.
No, I think that's
gorgeous town.
I know Chelsea really wants to go to Ireland to go. That's her background. Yeah. So we probably have to fight over that a little bit. But I really want to go to Cuba. Because
it depends on what time of year you win the money. You know
that's also true.
You know what I mean? Like if you get the contract in January, guess where we're going? We're going to Cuba.
Oh yeah.
If we get the fucking contract in fucking
Ireland, weather sucks all year round. What are we even talking about?
Oh no, man! I'm from Scotland. You know that. Like you got like honestly.
You're from there?
I'm from Scotland. Yeah, I moved here as 11.
Oh, okay. No shit.
All my listeners. He's never listened to a fucking.
That's not
podcast.
true. I listened to 2 of them today.
I listened to 3 of his today. By the way, no, seriously. That's why I saw Bagpipes and Banjos. Anyway, no, seriously. But Ireland's great, and Scotland's great. But yeah, definitely great. But I'll tell you right now, like June to September is fucking it. But what's October to May?
Yeah,
dark at 6 o'clock.
Really?
Oh, actually, dark at 3 o'clock most of those months.
Oh,
but like 6 o'clock is it's disgusting. It's Alaska, dude. It's fucked.
Yeah,
but summer, it's like
beautiful.
It's beautiful till 4 a.m.
Yeah,
and then the sun sets, and at 6 a.m. sun rises. It's crazy.
That's wild.
It is crazy.
I'd love to see that though.
It is wild, man. It's like Alaska.
Yeah,
get there, go to Ireland, but go in the right time.
I definitely would love to.
So that'd be the first place you go is Cuba.
Yeah,
I think, dude. I think that's non-Cuban people's list.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, why not? Dominican Republic,
DR,
yeah, all that area, it would be a good place to go. I just said Mediterranean.
Yeah, you did.
I almost did, and I didn't. But I want to let people know that I almost said Mediterranean Sea, which is where Greece and Italy are, not Cuba and the Dominican. That is where the Arctic Ocean is.
Yeah.
So. The two questions I was asked. Best piece of advice you've ever been given pertaining to like music and your music career. I mean, it could be anything. And it could, You know what I mean? But how you've taken it.
Yeah. It's hard to say, man.
Sure. Give me 7 of them, dude. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that the best advice is more of just like watching what people were doing and learning from that. Right. I mean, there's been a lot of
actions
advice.
Speak louder than words and all that shit.
Totally. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have given me advice over the years, and I've taken it all to heart. I mean, listening to everything that you can, be open-minded and all that shit, but really watching the way people run their business.
Did you ever get someone that like just kind of almost like said that to you, like actually verbally said, just watch and learn, buddy? Or
oh yeah,
like that?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like said that to you and put you on that track.
My dad would always kind of be because
non-emotional, Cuban, French.
Yeah.
Like I mean, no offense, like I'm from Scotland, like I get it, like just watch and learn instead of me talk to you about it.
Yeah, I mean, he would tell me stuff, but being when he was like, in the 70s and 80s and stuff, he was really pursuing music in the same way.
Yeah, right.
So he saw a lot of bad stuff, especially with drugs and all that. So that was always like his things to just stay away from like the drugs,
away from that shit.
Which I haven't done the best job of throughout my whole career, but
that's fine. That's fair.
But it's like you just don't want, like, I think that's kind of like the best thing is just like don't really like let that shit.
You've been doing this for I don't want to. How long have you been doing it?
I've been pursuing
20
it.
years? 15 years?
No, I'd say I've been really pursuing it about going on 10 years.
10
like
years.
Really pursuing it.
What gets you through, man? I mean, have you been with Chelsea that long?
We've been together for 6 years. Going
okay,
on 7,
so okay, you met someone that maybe helps and maybe motivates you and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, right? But like, what gets you through it? Other than that, maybe like what gets you through the grind of trying to be a musician and trying to be famous and trying to, obviously, the night about famous and money, but you said trying to inspire motherfuckers, man, and trying to like help a subculture and a pop culture. And like, that's amazing, dude. Like, what a fucking high aim. But what keeps you going when days are not great?
I mean, definitely support from Chelsea for sure. But
sure.
It's also a lot of just, and this might sound a little conceited, but I do have confidence in myself.
Damn right. It doesn't sound conceited. You have to. You have to.
So I think that really that plays into it. Where I mean, there's a lot of days where I doubt the whole thing, but I think that I think that I look at other like some of my idols. I'm sure they all had doubt too at some point.
That's literally when I interview you guys, and I see you guys like musicians, but I've had a couple on here, and you're definitely one of them. I say a few on here that really are doing it right and are making money and using this as full time, and they're hot. You're not working. You're doing your goddamn thing, man. And so you're one of them. And I've had a few on here, and that's what I ask these people, and that's why I ask. And again, you've given a few great answers, but that's another one is you've got confidence and you can believe, and no one says it enough.
Right.
You even prefaced it with, I don't want to sound conceited. No. Like, if you're a soccer player, you wouldn't be judged for saying, I think I'm great.
Right.
If you're a football player, you're saying, oh yeah, man, I'm the best. I know I'm going to catch it.
Sells tickets.
And but you are sitting there going, I don't want to sound conceited. Motherfucker, check out Side Hustle and check out AntonLapumeMusic.com because it's fantastic.
I appreciate
it. And
that.
I know you do, and I appreciate you do. But you said it. You're confident in yourself. And fuck yeah, anyone that's listening wants to be like Joe King or Westbrook or Josh McGowan or Amanda Moore. And I'm not hating on any of them. I love them. But anyone wants to be like fucking Anton Laplume, believe in yourself and get there and put that shit out. And a month or so from now, Spotify is going to have your album on there. Am I right?
Yeah, you'll at least have some singles on there for sure.
Goddamn right. Spotify's going to be releasing your shit.
That's right.
And you write all that?
Well, with Side Hustle, it's a pretty collective process.
Good. That's cool.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Do you come out with most of the lyrics or do you come out with most of the guitar riffs?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be, it's a mix of both, man. Like I think the first album was like a lot of us, like, here's a song, let's just play it. And then this one was much more of like, okay, well, I have an idea or somebody else had an idea. And then it was like, we kind of just built upon that idea, So yeah, this was a very collaborative effort. Yeah, it's to me. I
what
like
a collective effort. Yeah,
I like it more that way, man. And there's a lot of people out there that want to run the show creatively as well. I mean, I like having more control over the business end of it and the booking stuff like that and the management stuff. But when it comes to creativity, I want to be able to collaborate more on that kind of stuff. So that's what we've really done with this album. It's been a very collaborative effort, which I'm stoked about.
That's really cool. I mean, that's how the best do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If I went on your Spotify right now, I got your account.
Mm-hmm.
You can give me 1 or 2 answers. You can mix them. Top 5 played or top 5 best. Like, what do you got? What's on your Spotify?
So right now, I'm really Mark Lethierry just released a new record. He's a guitar player from Snarky Puppy, for those who don't know. And it's called a Deep Baritone Sessions Volume 2, and it's fucking insane.
So you're just like seriously just a student every fucking day. You like when you listen to shit, it's not so much.
It's not
definitely not Justin Bieber or anything, but it's like you're kind of just
love
listening
pop
to learn.
I love pop music. I love the Dua Lipa album released last year. I'm stoked on that. It's amazing.
So I mean,
production's amazing.
The whole question's based on this answer, like based on you going crazy and telling me all about it. That's insane to me that like you would listen to something like that based on what you put out, and that's because I'm a fanboy. I'm not a musician. Like, why the fuck would he listen to anything like that?
I love it all, man.
You just have such an open mind to all of
it. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like, but you know, I think that being in the studio as much as I have been, I have a real affinity for production. So,
and how it fucking the art, man.
Yeah, so I love pop music for that. Yeah. But then, of course, being a guitar player and somebody who's a little bit of a music nerd, I love like the jazz and fusion shit too.
You call yourself a music snob or music nerd?
I'm definitely.
Every once in a while, you're a snob.
I'm a little
sucks, doesn't it?
Sometimes
I'm a listener snob. And I hate. All right. So based on everything that you like, because it sounds like everything. Tell me that. What do you not like? Like, what do you just don't like?
Man, there's a lot of like house music.
And I know you're not hating on music. No, let's put it that way. You're an artist. What do you not like?
There's a lot of like house music that I can't really. Yeah, it's like it's not even like the 4 on the floor that I can't get. There's a lot of stuff that I like with 4 on the floor, but it's just like there's something about the repetition. And I'm just and you know it eats at me.
Yeah,
Billy loves playing that shit, and he puts it on in the van just to piss me off. I'm just like, bro, I can't. Yeah,
like Raul.
Yeah, he loves that stuff. He's shown me some cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but for them, like I'm not gonna put it on myself. Like I'll find something to appreciate in everything that you show me.
Yeah, sure.
I'll find it, but that's something I'm just not gonna put on myself. You know.
All right, don't have to answer any of them.
Okay.
Highest paid gig you ever had? One nighter, or I mean 2-nighter, whatever it was, but highest paid.
Probably it was probably a wedding.
You don't have to tell me all about it. You just tell me the money.
I'll just tell you the money.
You tell me all about it if you want to.
That's hard to say, man. I don't know. There's been some pretty good gigs. It's not as much as you think it
could
might be,
could I say $4,000?
No, never mind.
Not even
money.
close.
No.
All right. Everyone, don't listen. Do not tune in. Oh, you've made it. You've made it this far. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Cool. I had a fucking couple other ones. Okay. Best venue. Best venue you've ever played.
So I love 1904 Music Hall.
You can love all of them, dude. But,
yeah.
You know, gun to your head. And 1904 Music Hall was or is still amazing.
Yeah, Blue Jay Listening Room is great. I mean, Funky Biscuit in Boca is great. But I think that it's such a hard one.
That's fine. It's supposed to be.
But there was that room that we played in Quebec was probably I can't remember what it's called right now, man. It was
this motherfucker's in Canada.
Yeah, that was a dope place.
The capital of Canada?
No, it's Quebec is just just like the
city,
province.
But I mean, Ottawa.
Quebec City.
Is Ottawa the capital?
I'm not entirely sure.
I don't fucking know.
But Quebec is like the province, and then you have Quebec City. Okay, I don't know.
This motherfucker's trying to make me look stupid. No. Okay, so that was a fucking just dope ass venue.
Yeah.
Worst. I want to know worst venue, and I want to know why.
Okay. I can tell you off the bat.
Oh, you don't have to name them and shame them if you don't want to.
I can't tell you.
But I need to know a little context.
I couldn't tell you the name if I want to. There's this place in Springfield, Illinois that we played.
All right, so it has nothing to do with the fucking locals.
No. Right. It was. I mean, it was just. I mean, in that place it did because it was just a really shitty dive bar, like in the middle of nowhere.
Which is a good place to play every once in a while. A good place to hang out, but. Let me hear that story. Sorry.
I don't really remember. I just remember just hating the place. It's just like it's one of those things like it's just really grimy and like just there's a similar place
bad.
here in Jax, not here, but like in Jax, it's called a 727 Lounge, I think.
Don't tell me about
it. I forgot what it's called, but we played.
Sounds like shit.
It's a fun spot, but it's very divey.
Do you have anything on the top of your head, like a good, fun, shitty, to make someone laugh story from the road? You don't have to, but it'd be great if you just had one for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where,
I know you have 40.
There's times where like Rock and Jake and I would get into like these conflicts, and one time I was we were
It's already funny.
We were packing up after a gig one night, and I was doing some social media stuff after before or after the gig. I remember we were both like hammered drunk. And he like comes at me and starts like fucking yelling at me about some shit about how I'm not like packing up or whatever. Meanwhile, he's taking shots with the venue owner.
And you're doing your thing to fucking share your shit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Make money.
He fucking goes off on me, and we just like literally come to almost like fighting.
Yeah,
they're like pulling us back or whatever, and then he just
turns out to be handbags.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically that's
worst story ever. I was really hoping you would tell me he took a shit on stage, but he is as perfect as he looks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that shit out of the fucking way. Look at this guy. He's gorgeous. Tremendous show, man. I've got so much more to ask you, and I hope we have a part 2 sometime soon,
totally,
man.
Let me know.
And thank you, and I'll send you the audio and all that bullshit. Best piece of advice that you could give anyone that's 18, 16, 14, 23, 88 that wants to get into what you're doing, that really has a passion for it, but doesn't know how. What are you telling them?
Be open-minded and say yes to everything.
God damn, that is awesome. Awesome piece of advice. Be open-minded and say yes to everything. Seriously, guys, that is exactly what you need to do in every career, in every walk of life. Good for you. Anton Laplume. sidehustletheband.com. Go to Instagram. It's at sidehustletheband. Anton Laplume Music. Dude, we got lots of ways to get a hold of us. Check it out. This guy's amazing. You have anything else to say?
Well, thanks for having me on. It was awesome, man.
Fuck that shit. Don't Moncton patronize me. This is a terrible show, and everyone knows it. Twitch, get at me and talk about how fucking amazing his beard is. I think all my Twitch fans are gay gamers.
Okay.
Oh, shit. I need to end the broadcast. Mick Motherwell.